Hey guys, so I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to go into some ethics and some ethical issues within the media, and I'm going to specifically go into some ethical issues around trauma within the media. So I'm going to initially start off with the definition of trauma, and then we're going to go from there and discuss how we think it should be discussed when it is something that needs to happen, but we have to how to approach the situation. So we also will then go into some cases where there has been ethical issues with trauma within the media. So trauma is defined as a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. So these things can include deaths, terrorism attacks, any natural disasters, anything that can be considered traumatic within your life. And then, so when discussing this topic, we need to approach the situation with extreme sensitivity and to ensure that we're not going to offend anyone. These people that you'll be talking to will be grieving, will be really upset. It is a very distressing time in life, and I believe that it needs to be approached with extreme sensitivity. You also need to be aware of how the audience may feel, because the audience is going to watch this, and then if they have been impacted by something similar or just like impacted in general, they may be triggered by something that you'll be showing. So it is also important to not overshow or overshare, because graphic content can distress a lot of people and cause moral panic. So when you are interviewing or speaking with someone about this topic, something that is traumatic or can impact someone's well-being, it's important to take their emotions into account, their grief, their sadness, their anger sometimes. So you need to be very, very sensitive. So now that I've discussed what trauma is and like how it can be in the media, I am going to go a little bit in depth about the case of Molly Lord. So Molly Lord was a 13-year-old girl from the Illawarra who was involved in a freak quad bike accident on her family's property in Kembla Grange. So in July in 2012, Molly was involved in an accident and unfortunately passed away. So of course then all of the media operators all came swarming, because they were like, oh my god, this is a big story, we need to like cover this. So Channel 7, Win News and the Illawarra Mercury were the top three covering this story. So Channel 7 is actually Sydney operated. So they sent down a helicopter. The helicopter came hovering over the property and actually made the family extremely mad, because of course they were grieving, they were extremely upset, they were devastated. Imagine your 13-year-old girl passing away in a freak accident. They were devastated. So then they were furious with Channel 7, and the similar kind of thing happened with the Mercury. So they came onto the property with no permission, were taking photos of the grieving mother, and they got in contact with the father, who was actually in Singapore at the time of the accident. He of course was in a rush, in a havoc, trying to get home to see his family. It was his daughter that passed away. He was like, the Mercury contacted him and was like, oh hi, can we like have a chat about it? We would like an interview, and he was like, no, this is our life, our family, we're grieving over the loss of our daughter. We don't want to speak about it. I'm trying to come home from Singapore. Do not put this on the front cover of your newspaper. So then what does the Mercury do? They put it right over the front cover, page 1 and 2. And then, of course, the family was also super mad at them. Not only did they come on the property, They went against their family's wishes, and they also put it on the front cover. Imagine, they hadn't even spoken with their own family, hadn't been able to speak to their direct family about the situation yet, and here it is all over the front cover of the newspaper. So then they got in a lot of drama because, is that ethical? Do you think so? Now we're going to go a little bit more in depth about the ethics. Now that you have the general premise of the story, we're going to go a little bit more in depth and discuss that a little bit more. So just to add a little bit more of a backstory. So then following the incident with Channel 7, Molly's mother posted on Facebook sharing that she felt that they behaved inappropriately and they should have respected their privacy. When this happened, Channel 7 deleted the comment and then deleted the content that they had uploaded to their Facebook page. But then it was a disgrace that they deleted Molly's mother's comment. So they made a press release apologising, saying that they should never have deleted the comment. What these media companies have done is that they have gone against the ACMA, which stands for the Australian Communications and Media Authority Code of Practice. This states that you must exercise sensitivity when broadcasting the images of bereaved relatives, survivors, or witnesses of traumatic incidents, as well as going against the Media and Entertainment Alliance Code of Ethics that states that journalists must respect the private grief and personal privacy. While it is clear that what went down within the Molly Lord case was unethical, it was settled confidentially within the Supreme Court with the Lord family and the media outlets that were involved.